Welcome back to my kitchen. So I'm making Moroccan meatballs tonight, and we're having Moroccan roasted vegetables to go with it on a bed of couscous. Sometimes we just get sick of potatoes and rice and pasta. If you are not familiar cooking with couscous, you're going to be like, how come I've never used this before? It is the easiest thing in the world to make. The first thing we're going to do to get started is prep all of our ingredients. And so here's the spice blend for the vegetables. 1 teaspoon of cumin, 1 teaspoon of paprika, half a teaspoon of turmeric for the vegetables. I'm going to do like a teaspoon of salt and a half a teaspoon of black pepper. I'm just going to put like a pinch of cinnamon in here. These are the spices for my veg. Okay, simple. Just going to cut this in half. I'm just going to cut it into little thin slices, kind of wedges for roasting. Super simple. Doesn't have to be perfect. This bowl is going to have all the veg I'm going to roast in it, so I'm going to start by putting my onion in it. You know, and I just love experimenting in the kitchen. You know, this is like in an effort not to be bored. I love looking at the internet and the apps to see what people are making, and I saw a woman do this Moroccan meatball thing, and I was like, wow, I think I'm going to make that. I got this cauliflower, and I'm using the whole thing because actually when it roasts, it does shrink down. So that's how I did. I took that stem off, and I'm just going to cut this in half. You see this stem in the middle. I'm going to cut it kind of like coring an apple. I'm just going to cut it like that, trying to show you, just into like a little V. I have to turn around so I can see it, just like a little V, and then it just like pops right out. And I just cut this cauliflower up into florets. We just want them to be kind of like size. Okay, so here's all the veg that I put together. So it was the onion that I sliced, the cauliflower, some cherry tomatoes, some garlic, those spices, and a little bit of olive oil. I like to roast my vegetables on a little bit of parchment paper. You know, I don't use a whole lot of oil when I do these things, so the parchment is my friend. So I'm just gonna dump this right onto this pan. Look at that. So good to go with those meatballs. These are gonna go in a 400-degree oven for about 25 minutes. I want them to be roasty and soft. Okay, the big reveal. How do you make couscous? So this is a cup of water, plain water. I'm just gonna add a half a teaspoon of oil, olive oil, to that water. And I'm just bringing this to a boil. You can even put the lid on so that it boils faster. Okay, my water's boiling. I'm gonna give it just a tiny pinch of salt. And here I have 3/4 of a cup of that couscous. It's just plain, unflavored couscous. And I'm just gonna stir it into this water. Turn the heat off, put the lid on, and that is everything. This will sit for 5 minutes, and all that couscous, you can sort of see it happening already, is gonna absorb all that water on its own, and then it'll be cooked. I am really, really, really happy with those. So now that they're out of the oven, I'm just gonna add some raisins, because I think raisins taste really good, and I'm just adding them to these hot vegetables so that they can come to life a little bit. And I think they're gonna add a really nice sweetness to the dish, and a nice little texture element, a little bit of chewiness. But she's not quite ready for her close-up. Okay, so all ready to make this side dish. Here we have our roasted vegetables and our couscous. And let's check the couscous. It's kind of fun. Look, it's all puffed up. And now I just have to give it a little zhuzh. You know, you can use a fork for this. But whatever, just break it up. And it fluffs up like perfect. I'm gonna put all this couscous on this battery here. I don't know if I have a big enough vehicle, but we're gonna try. So I'm just laying all this couscous as a bed down on the bottom. Then I have my vegetables, and I'm just gonna like put them on top of the couscous. I'm just gonna put it right on top. Oh, how beautiful and delicious and wonderful is this? I mean, even vegetables can get very boring, but not in my house. Most of the time it has to do with just using some interesting spices. I mean, this looks pretty good already, but I'm gonna garnish it with a little bit of cilantro. Very fresh flavor. And I've got like a tablespoon of sliced almonds. And I'm gonna put those on top. Okay, look at my Moroccan vegetables on a bed of couscous. Wow, this looks so not boring. So good. But I'm just gonna give it like a little taste right out of here. It's really good, but I think I'm gonna give it a little bit of salt. Okay, give it one more taste. That did it. That is so good. That is so good, and I really like the juiciness of the tomatoes, and I love all the flavors on the vegetables, and I just love roasted cauliflower. And then you've got that beautiful starchy couscous. I highly recommend you try it. I'm gonna eat maybe one more piece. Maybe this one nobody will miss.